Okay, good morning, algebra students. Today we are going to start lesson 3-7, absolute value equations and inequalities. So, first things first, let's remind ourselves what absolute value is. And what it is the distance a number is from zero, okay? And it looks like this. It's like two goalposts. So this means the absolute value of 5, or the distance that 5 is from zero on a number line, is 5. Also, this also means the absolute value of -5. Well, that distance is also 5 from 0 on the number line. So absolute values, when they are inside of there, can only be positive because they are distances. That doesn't mean we're not going to get any negative answers in this section. It just means that when we're inside our absolute value, those answers will be positive. Okay, so let's talk about how we solve these. Let's start with problem 1. And today we're going to split this in sections. So we're only going to do numbers 1, 2, examples, 1, 2, and 3 for notes. And we will do the other ones tomorrow. Okay, so first one says, what are the solutions of the absolute value of x plus 2 equal 9? Graph and check the solutions. Okay, so in order to solve an absolute value equation, what you want to do is solve it like you would solve any other equation by, okay, I'm going to rewrite this, by undoing the equation. Okay, so right here, we would undo this, ignoring these absolute value symbols by subtracting 2. So we're going to subtract 2 here and subtract 2 here, and we get the absolute value of x is equal to 7. Okay, and then since that's all that's left, we're saying what number's distance from 0 is 7? And that answer is x equals 7 x equal -7. So 7 is 7 away from 0, and -7 is 7 away from 0. And the way you would graph this is you would simply make a number line, make sure that you have -7 and +7 on it, obviously, because that's what we need, and 0. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what you do is you then put a little dot at each, and they don't connect at all because they are two distinct answers. Okay, so that's how we do it. When we get down to the bottom and all that's left is the absolute value symbol and it's equaling a number, it's got to be that positive version and that negative version. Okay, let's do something a little harder. So this next one is a story problem, but it's a good way for us to practice solving when there's more inside the absolute value symbol. So it says, starting from 100 feet away, your friend skates toward you and then passes by you. She skates at a constant speed of 20 feet per second. Her distance d from you in feet after t seconds is given by distance equals the absolute value of 100 minus 20 times t. Remember, t is your time in seconds. At what times is she 40 feet from you? So let's think about this. If you're at a skating rink, you're skating around in usually an oval, right? And so just a little picture of what's going on here. If you're standing on the side and your friend is skating around this oval, right? When she skates toward you and she's about right here, she's 40 feet from you. But as she comes around this way, she's also 40 feet from you over here. So there's two places. There should be two answers here, right? And so what we want to do is we want to solve this. So the way you do this, if you have more than just like in here, you just had an X inside there, everything's inside the absolute value. What you end up doing is you split it in two. So you start it with, well, we're looking for when she's 40 feet away. So that's what's going to be our distance. So 40 equals 100 minus 20t. We're looking for when she's 40 feet away here, right? Now, the other one that we're really looking to solve for is when she's 40 feet away from you. So we're going to solve for when it's -40 as well. -40 equals 100 minus 20t. So we do that every time we have everything inside the absolute value symbols. We split it into solving for the positive and negative answer there. Okay, so let's solve this one. The first thing we would do is subtract 100 from both sides. So we have negative 60 equals negative 20t if we drop that. And then we have to divide by negative 20 on both sides. And we get negative 60 divided by negative 20 is 3. So we get t equal 3 for this one. And then we'll do the same over here. We're going to subtract 100 from both sides. Here's the difference though. Negative 40 minus 100 is negative 140 equals now negative 20t. Divide by negative 20 on both sides. And we get t equals, and I know I'm writing this the opposite way, negative 140 divided by negative 20 is positive 7. And so remember, these are times in seconds. So at what times is she 40 feet from you? She's 40 feet from you at t equals 3 seconds and t equals 7 seconds. Okay, so the main idea here, again, if everything's inside the absolute value symbols, we solve for the positive answer and the negative answer there. Okay, last one for today's lesson is ones that look like this. When you have stuff inside of the absolute value symbols and stuff outside of the absolute value symbols, how do we solve those? So we're going to solve them like an equation. So I just want to write this down. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'm going to write it like this first. 2z plus 9 plus 12 equal 10. This is how it's written here. Now, imagine that this whole absolute value thing was just one variable. If we had this 3x plus 12 equal 10, right? All I did was replace this whole absolute value with an x. It's a lot easier to kind of figure out what to do to solve it. So in this case, we have stuff that is inside the absolute value and outside. So we're going to solve it like we would solve this first, okay? So the first move you would make if you were going to solve this equation would be to subtract the 12. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to subtract the 12 from both sides. So that leaves us with 3, and then on the outside, or on the inside of the absolute value is 2z plus 9 still equals now negative 2. If we had done that here, we would get 3x equal negative 2, right? Now, we're going to do the same thing. If we were to solve this one, what would we do next? We would divide by 3, right? So we would divide by 3 and divide by 3. That's what we're going to do here, divide the 3 out. So now we have the absolute value of 2z plus 9 equals negative 2/3. And so the next thing we would do is like what we would have done up here, where we would split it up and solve for the positive and negative answer. However, since everything that is left is inside of the absolute value symbol and our other side is negative, we know that our distances cannot be negative. So the answer here is no solution already. Okay, so here's the note. If everything left to solve is inside of the absolute value symbols and the solution is negative, you're already at no solution for that. Okay, hopefully that is helpful for notes. Now, I am going to attach to this another video for homework help if you need it. So see the next video if you need homework help.